today's video is going to be some of my tried and true tips and tricks for back to school. If you are new here, my name is Rachel. I'm a mother of 5, and this year all 5 of my kids for the first time will be in school. They range everywhere from Tristan, who's going to be a senior, Aiden, he is going into his sophomore year, Brianna is in 7th grade, Declan, who is in 2nd grade, and Gwen, who starts VPK this year. I've used all of these tricks for years. They will help it make it so much easier on you guys so you don't have quite as much stress to deal with in a very stressful time of year. Sounds good? Stick around, and I'm gonna start with tip number 1. One thing I will note, I have made 2 other videos like this. They will be in the description box down below. Some of the things I'm gonna say today may be a repeat from those videos, but if they are a repeat, it is because that tip is just so good and very important. But on to tip number 1. Go through your children's clothes first and foremost before you go out back to school shopping. I always get my older ones because they don't go to a uniform school. I always get them 1 or 2 special outfits anyways, but I don't want to go buy 3 new pairs of jeans if their jeans from last year fit, or 2 new shirts, 3 new shirts, 7 new shirts, depending on what they need. If they've been ripped, stained, holes in them, they've outgrown them. All of my kids hit a growth spurt between like April and now. It's ridiculous. So we had to do a little bit extra on the school clothes shopping, but definitely go through their drawers and check everything from socks to underwear. If it's a uniform school, check last year's uniforms. Just check their clothes before you go buy a bunch of stuff you don't need to spend your money on. While we're still talking about clothes, have somewhere, this is mostly for like the younger kids, have somewhere designated for their school clothes for the next day, if not the whole week in advance. For Declan, he is my one going into 2nd grade. He has these hangers. It hangs the shirt and the pants together in one spot in his closet. So all he has to do each day is grab one hanger. Gwen is my new preschooler. I got this little accordion thing for her closet. It's got 6 holes. She only needs 5 days for each week, but I do have an outfit for each day in the hole so she can just grab and go. Shoes, have a spot for those school shoes. There have been so many times that my kids in the morning when it's time to get out the door, they don't know where their shoe is. It has cost us so much time. Have a designated spot and make sure before you go to bed the night before, the shoes are in that spot. Ours is this front closet right by the door. For the smaller 2 kids, Brianna's is right by her bedroom door, as well as both of my bigger boys. When it comes to the backpack, we also have a designated spot for that to hang. The smaller 2 also hang in the front shoe closet. Brianna has a hook on her wall for her backpack, and the older 2 boys each have a hook in their bedroom, so that way there's no fumbling around, no where's my backpack problem. It also has a designated spot. My kids go to a school that doesn't really do homework. My older kids, most of their homework's on the computer, but I still like to have a spot in my house with extra school supplies. You never know when they're gonna break their pencil, break their crayons, run out of glue. Have some school supplies on hand, and especially if your kids go to a homework school or you think they're gonna have a lot of projects, just keep some school supplies on hand. It will make everything a lot easier for your children during the entire school year. Plus, this is the cheapest time of year to buy school supplies. Crayons drop from like almost $2 a pack to 50 cents a pack. Water bottles. Have at least 2 water bottles for each of your younger kids. Declan, there were so many times last school year, he left his water bottle in his classroom and I had to fumble around finding the extra one. At some point, I think he had either 3 or 4 water bottles ready to go for school because I was tired of the fumble. So have extra water bottles, especially for the younger kids. If you're going to be packing their lunches, extra ice packs. The younger kids love to play with their ice packs, lose them, trash them, you name it. We've gone through a high number of ice packs because I was stupid and bought the little penguins, and my son and his friends would play with them at lunch and then they would magically disappear. So again, something else to have extra on, ice packs. This next one should go without being said, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Label every single thing. Their folders, their backpacks, their jackets, especially anything they could take off like their jacket. Last year, 2 boys in Declan's class had the exact same Pokemon Pikachu jacket. One day he came home wearing his and another one in his backpack because the teacher thought it was his. The one he was wearing was clearly labeled. The one he brought home, no label, no clue. I sent it back with a note to the teacher so she could figure out which little boy was missing his jacket. Label everything. Mornings for the first few weeks are going to be pure chaos, so I recommend very easy breakfast. You can keep Eggos, stuff like that in your freezer, or just make your own. I do a lot of like Sunday morning breakfast, so I will put extra pancakes or extra waffles in my freezer when I make those, and then we could just reheat them in the mornings. I keep oatmeal on hand, cereal on hand, anything like that to make morning breakfast so much faster and easier. Still on the topic of food, lunches. You're going to see a million ideas if you go on the internet of, look at this lunch I packed my kid and it looks great. If your kid is not gonna eat that stuff, please don't send it with them to school just because it looks good for the people on the internet. Send your kids what they're going to eat. If they take a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and some cookies, if they're gonna eat it and put something in their belly, send it. I have these little boxes. I do homemade Lunchables because it's just a little bit easier on me and it's cheaper. For fruit cups, I hate sending my kids those fruit cups because they're so hard to open. So I like these little plastic containers and a can of fruit, divide it out and throw it in the lunchbox. For one, it's easier for them to open, it's less mess, and it's cheaper. Just really think about ways to save yourself time, money, and energy, but give your kids stuff they're going to eat and don't really worry if it looks great for the internet. Do what's gonna work for you and your kids. If you think your kid is going to want to eat school lunch, whether it's one day a week or the entire week, or you are going to have them eat the school lunch, you can print the calendar and make it a lot easier. Just go on the website for whatever county schools or your school exactly, and there will be a link in the food services area to the menu, and then just print it each month. I like to keep ours on the door right near our dinner menu so the kids can look at it and be like, yes or no, I want the school chicken nuggets or pack my lunch. I just mentioned the dinner calendar. I keep a monthly rolling dinner calendar. Yes, right now it's only showing you by the week because we just got back from vacation. I'm digressing on that. But for that first week of school, I plan very kid-friendly, easy dinners that are no stress on me, and I know my kids are gonna eat them because I want them to have a full belly for that first week back to school. They're gonna be very tired, very stressed out, very overworked because they're not used to that from summer break. I wanna know they're gonna eat what I put on that table. Another thing you're gonna wanna keep on hand or print is your school specifics calendar. My kids go to school that does a lot of special events, and there are outfits for that. Like honestly, my kids go to school that host a sock hop. It's not until close to winter, but you need 50s style clothes for your kids for the sock hop. And if I look at that calendar now, I have time to prep for those things. So I do highly recommend you look at your school's calendar to know days off, holidays, vacations, and anything special for like picture day or something specific that you're going to need extra clothes for. For my parents of the older kids, late middle school to high school, throw a stick of deodorant in their backpack. Just trust me now, if you know, you know, throw deodorant in their backpack. My older two boys are high school. They ride the bus. The bus comes at 0 dark 30, and there are days that my sons say, oh, my alarm didn't go off. Right now, test your alarm clocks. I have one in Aiden's room, one in Tristan's room, and we have already tested both of these to make sure they work. They're on their loudest setting and good to go. My youngest two love books right before bed, and what I do like to have on hand is a back to school book of some kind for that night right before they go to school. This happens to be our book for this year. I found it in Target. Brianna was like, Gwen will love that. Declan would love it. So that is the book I'll be reading to the kids for the night before school this year. My last few tips are very quick and very easy. First one, think about mom. You're out school supply shopping. You're getting all of your kids everything. Think about the parents. It is going to be very stressful, very chaotic those first few weeks, but especially those first few days. If you're sending a new baby off to school for the first time, or your oldest baby is going into their senior year, it can be quite emotional. Whatever vice you wanna have on hand, whether it's chocolate, ice cream, wine, tissues, it does not matter. Whatever you want for you, think about the items that you would like to have on hand for what is going to be a very stressful, chaotic, emotional week. Last two tips. Germs are everywhere. Little kids, especially in younger elementary school, they hug, they touch, they hold hands, they sit side by side like little sardines, and the germs just collide, and they make this kind of nasty funk in the first few weeks of school, and 9 times out of 10, your kids are going to get sick within the first 2 to 4 weeks of school without fail if you don't pump some vitamins and some vitamin C and immune boosting into their bodies now. Start getting it in their systems so hopefully you can build up their immunity and just avoid that crud altogether. And no, I'm not telling you to go get those emergency packets and shove them in your kids' drinks and make them do that. You don't want to do a whole bombardment of vitamin C because all they're going to do is pee it out anyways, and it's not going to do you any good and it's a waste of money. But just add vitamin C or a good multivitamin to their daily regimen. My last tip is probably the best one. If you only follow one tip, I really hope that it is this one, and that is on that first morning of school, give yourself an extra 10 minutes. Even if you don't think you're going to need it, give yourself those extra 10 minutes. If all of a sudden your kid doesn't want to wear that shirt they picked last night, if all of a sudden they don't want to eat that breakfast or they're taking forever eating that breakfast, your pictures, you want to take some first morning pictures and they're taking a little longer to get the kid to smile. There's new cars on the road. Car lines at the schools are ginormous. They go very slow because it's brand new parents that don't really know where they're going and what they're doing. School buses are back on the street. Just give yourself that extra 10 minutes. Trust me, it'll make a big difference. But there you have it. Those are my top tips and tricks for back to school. They are all tried and true in my home, and I know that they will help make those first few weeks back to school a lot easier for you and your kiddos. I hope your kids have a wonderful school year and an easy transition for you. If you guys did enjoy this one, thumbs up, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.